Laura with Tex-Mex. It is Tuesday, August 24th, 2004. And the time is now 11:27. We are located 10:27. 10:27. We are located in a conference room at the law offices of Fox & Fox, 124 West Broadway, Monona, Wisconsin. This case is captioned Mary Hilda Mole versus Hess Memorial Hospital. Case number is 04-C-0299-S. Venue is United States Western District of Wisconsin. And this is the deposition of Randy Schwanke. And I will now swear you in. Mr. Schwanke, please raise your right hand. You solemnly affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yep. Yes.
Attorneys, please audibly state your appearance for the record, and anyone else present in the room.
Randy Gold, on behalf of the plaintiff. Plaintiff appears in person. I'm also representing the opponent, Randy Schwanke.
Tom Schrumpf, appearing for the defendant. It also should be noted that Mrs. Schwanke is in the room as well.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Could you state your full name, please?
Randy Alfred Schwanke.
Mr. Schwanke, have you ever had your deposition taken before?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, I'll just go over a few grounds. I'll be asking you some questions about the lawsuit that Mary Moore filed. Anytime you don't understand my question, please tell me that. I'll have to rephrase it or restate it.
Okay.
Answer my question, I'll assume that you understood the question and that your answer is responsive to that question.
Okay.
You also have to remember to answer the questions out loud and you're doing a good job.
Not too many head nods.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Third, in normal conversation, people like to interrupt each other. In a deposition, that's not a good idea because we want to have today's record. So if you can let me finish my question before you answer, and I'll afford you this courtesy and let you finish your answer before I ask another question, okay?
Okay.
And finally, anytime there's an objection, let us resolve that objection before we answer.
Okay.
What's your address?
N4509 Coldwell Avenue in Bohnson, Wisconsin.
What's your date of birth?
6/28/59.
For today's deposition, did you do anything to prepare for today's deposition?
I did go over some information that I kept in my file at home. And then I did meet with Randy beforehand.
That's Randy Gold.
Yes.
And when did you meet with Randy Gold?
Just prior to this meeting.
Who else was present at this meeting?
Molly was there, and then my wife.
What was discussed at the meeting?
Attorney-client privilege, we represent both Schwankes. So I'm concerned with attorney-client privilege.
Well, are you a plaintiff in the Mary Mall case?
Plaintiff, what does that mean?
Oh, sure, definitely matters.
I think I can have a private conversation with my clients about this case that you called to testify about. And if you want to have Judge Shabazz order the answer, then you can certainly try to do that. But I think I'm entitled to have a private discussion with my clients in preparation for his deposition.
Well, I disagree, so I'll at least make the record. Was anybody else present in the room when you had this conversation with Mr. Gold?
Molly and my wife. I think at the very end, reporter.
And how long was the reporter present?
I don't know, maybe a few minutes.
About a few minutes, 5 minutes, 10
Maybe,
minutes?
yeah, 5 minutes.
And how long did this conference last?
I don't know, maybe half hour.
What time did you get here?
I was here about 9 o'clock.
And what time did you first start the meeting?
I don't even know, it probably was about after 10.
Yeah.
10.
For that entire time frame, was Molly Moore present in the room?
I believe so.
Don't guess, Mr. Schwanke.
I guess I can't say that. I mean, I don't remember when the meeting started, when Molly stepped in.
And the purpose of this meeting was to prepare for your deposition today.
Yeah, yes.
And I take it the purpose of the meeting was not to discuss anything in relation to your case. Is that correct?
My case.
You know what, the purpose of the meeting? You can answer what the purpose of the meeting was, but you're not allowed to talk about what we talked about, because that may or may not have come up in our meeting, so tell them what the purpose of the meeting was.
Well, I think the purpose of the meeting was to, I guess, get ready for the deposition.
And that was in relation to filing most cases, is that correct?
Yes.
Was the purpose of the meeting to give you any legal advice with respect to any matters you have pending against Mile Point Medical Center?
I don't have any matters pending against my office.
And that's because you entered into a confidential settlement agreement with Mile Point Medical Center, is that correct?
Yes,
So that you have no pending claims against Mile Point Medical Center.
that would be correct.
What was discussed at the meeting?
You're not going to answer that question, Tom, unless you get a court order. It's inappropriate. I'm allowed to have a private discussion with my client in order to prepare him for a deposition. I think the attorney-client privilege covers any communications between a lawyer and their client, whether it regards another legal proceeding or their own past legal proceeding, or issues that overlap between those two proceedings. So you're not going to answer that question.
And it's the understanding, if I ask any specific questions about this meeting, you provide your client with the same instruction.
Yeah, I don't know why you just don't get into the meat of what you want to ask him. I would never ask a client who was represented what they discussed with their lawyer. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, and I'm somewhat surprised, Tom, that you've been persisting to do this. So go ahead. I know you're making your record, but
I don't
it's
need a
not gonna-
lecture. I know what the rules are, and I know what the attorney-client privilege holds, so yeah, we can go on. Are you currently employed?
Yes, I am.
And where are you employed?
I'm employed at Mountain View Memorial Hospital in Friendship, Wisconsin, and also do PRN work for MJ Care for a facility over in Toma, Wisconsin.
And are you employed as an occupational therapist?
That's correct.
And you are licensed?
I am licensed.
And how long have you been licensed?
14 years, I suppose.
Yes. One time you were employed at Mile Bluff Medical Center, is that correct?
That's correct.
When did you first start working at Mile Bluff?
November, I think it was 90, no. I think probably 97, 98.
And when you were first employed, what was your position?
My position was as the occupational therapy director and clinician.
And did you continue to hold that employment, that position throughout your employment at Mile Bluff?
Yes and no. I mean, I was a clinician throughout my my stay at Moyle Bluff. The position title did change. We, well, I mean, simply put, instead of just directing the occupational therapists or staff, the position changed to more of a clinical manager, where I did have physical therapy staff and some aid support service staff that I also supervised.
So, as a clinical manager, you supervised occupational therapists, is that correct?
I supervised occupational therapists in addition to other staff.
Did you also supervise physical therapists?
Yes, physical therapy assistants and some support staff.
Did you also supervise athletic trainers?
No, I did not. Peggy Nelson.
Peggy Nelson was your supervisor until her position was eliminated in August of 2003.
I don't know if the position was eliminated or not. She was my supervisor until she left.
And then who became the supervisor?
It would have been Ellen Hardy.
And then Ellen Hardy continued to be your supervisor until when?
Until I left.
And when did you leave?
I believe my last day was 13th of February. Is that 03?
Was it this year, 2004?
Well, would have been 2004, I guess.
I
Okay.
think it was.
And did you remain a clinical manager until you left on February 13th, 2004?
No, I did not.
At some point in time, you became just a staff occupational therapist?
That's correct.
When was that?
I believe sometime late October, early November of 03.
And what were the circumstances of you becoming a staff occupational therapist in October 2003?
That was a loaded question.
Yeah, I don't understand the circumstances. Can you be any more specific?
Well, were you demoted to staff occupational therapist in October of 2003?
Was I demoted? Was I formally demoted versus did I feel demoted?
Well, let's ask the first question. Were you formally demoted to staff occupational therapist?
No,
Did you feel that you were demoted?
very much so.
It's my understanding that when Peggy Nelson left, you were appointed acting director of occupational therapy.
I was allowed to be the director of occupational therapy.
And did you understand at that time that Mount Bluff was going to be looking for someone to fill the position of director of occupational therapy?
Yes,
And was it your understanding that you would be allowed to interview for that position?
yes,
And you also understood that Mount Bluff would be looking possibly outside for other persons to fill the position of director of occupational therapy.
yes.
Did you interview for the position of director of occupational therapy in between August and October 2003?
Yes, I did.
And were you ever provided results of that interview?
No, I was not.
Were you told that you would not be receiving the position of director of occupational therapy?
Was I told? No, I was not.
Well, how did you find out that? Strike that. At some point in time, did you find out that you weren't being considered for the position of director of occupational therapy?
Certainly.
And how did you find that out?
How did I find out that I wasn't
Being considered.
going to be considered?
You mean consider, you mean afforded the position?
No, considered for the
Okay.
position.
Was going to be considered for the position because there were, I think, on 2 or 3 occasions. It doesn't matter. I mean, there were different occasions where the interview process had occurred where I was aware that, in addition to myself, 2 other people were interviewed, and then the position I saw in the paper was let out again. And I know that happened at least 2 occasions.
Did you ever withdraw your name in consideration as director of occupational therapy? Again, in that time, in the fall of 2000.
Sure. What I remember was after I interviewed, and it probably was in August, September. No, it would have been October. I think it was October. At the end of the interview, I was handed a job description, which was dated September 30th. And in that job description, there was changes related to vision and physical requirements that did not appear in the job description prior to the occupational therapy director being recreated. And at that time, it became very clear to me. In addition to that, in addition to letting out the position again, in addition to just time, it took what I considered an extraordinary amount of time to fill a position. Given qualifications that I had, as far as I was concerned, for them to offer. And at a particular time, I did feel that I'm not going to get the job.
And at that point in time, did you withdraw your name?
At that particular time, when I added up everything.
Randy, it's a yes or no question. He just wants to know
Okay.
if you did something.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I did. I did withdraw and then accept what was going to be offered to me as a staff position.
And in the process of withdrawing, was that an oral conversation with someone?
No, it was written.
And was that in October of 2003?
It was in October, I'm pretty sure.
Just going back, you indicated that you reviewed some documents at home or prepare for the deposition. Can you tell me what documents you reviewed?
Well, it was probably things that dealt with me and Mile Bluff, just to kind of refresh, trying to get a time frame, and then I certainly reviewed the memo in which I presented to Ellen and Sue Bethhauser.
That memo was also previously marked as Exhibit 15.
Yeah, this would be the memo.
You want any question on that?
No, not right now,
Identify.
just trying to identify it. Can you tell me what else you reviewed?
Just miscellaneous things. There were some emails that I did review. There were, I guess, not knowing what we were going to get into, there was actually a couple of policies, procedures from Mile Bluff that I had copies of, and I reviewed those.
What emails did you review?
There was well, in particular, I guess, a email from Molly that she sent to me in late January. There was an email that I sent to Ellen, and that actually I sent to Sue Bethhauser, and then Sue sent it back to Ellen, and that had to do with some of the stuff that I had a challenge with in regards to the hospital and not getting my annual cost of living raise.
First of all, you identified an email from Molly in late January.
Mm-hmm.
Answer is yes?
Yes.
What was the content of that email?
It had to do with a conversation that Molly and I had in regards to using correct CPT codes, using correct, as far as what we had considered, what Molly and I had considered, licensed versus unlicensed personnel for procedures for rehab, for rehabbing patients. And basically I just told her, I said,
Well, he's just asking you about the email
yeah.
that Molly sent you. Now, he may
Right.
follow up with another question. I'm not
So
sure.
what was the email, basically?
That's all. Just listen to the
Okay.
question. That's all
Right.
he's asking.
Yeah.
He'll follow up. He's a very good, thorough lawyer, but I don't want Let him ask you the questions
Okay.
first, okay.
So, I mean, basically, the email dealt with a lawsuit that was brought against some medical center in the Carolinas. I don't remember which one. And it pointed out that there was actually some some good recourse that could happen if if hospitals, medical centers didn't follow the Medicare rules.
This was an email that Molly sent to you.
Yeah, she forwarded it to me.
Do you have a copy of that, Susan?
I do.
I haven't seen it, but after I see it, I'll get it.
Yeah. You can take a look at it, so.
Sure. You wanna do it right now?
Yeah, sure, why don't we do
Okay,
it right now?
let's go off the record.
Off the record at 10:47. Back on the record at 10:52.
Next choice been marked as exhibit number 35.
We're gonna get the old goggles off.
Okay.
Okay.
That is an email dated January 22nd, 2004 from Molly Moore to Randy Schwanke. Is that correct?
That's correct. Well, it's forward.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Did you discuss this email with Molly after you received it?
Sure.
And what did you discuss?
Well, we just felt that this is some of the stuff that we had prior discussion on, and actually, as the email points out, we had an opportunity to get some help from an individual that that had some expertise that we felt in the area of billing practices and how to use various licensed professionals.
And who was the person that you get help?
Well, I guess, what is it, Howell? What's her name?
Mary John Howe, Hauge.
Yeah, that's where, yeah, Mary John Howell.
Do you know Mary John Howe?
Yes,
Who is she?
She's a educational specialist. She's something down at the rural Wisconsin Health Corps.
And when did you meet Mary John Howe?
We participate in, I believe at the time it was quarterly roundtable events.
Did you ever meet with Mary John Howe with respect to your claims of fraud set forth on your January 12th, 2004 memo to Dan Manders on Harvey?
No, we've never personally, met specifically to those matters.
Did you ever discuss your claims about Medicare or Medicaid compliance issues at Mile Bluff Medical Center with Mary John Howe?
I think in trying to, be, I don't know, not identifying versus entities, there were opportunities during the co-op meetings to try to get questions answered, concerns answered, and Mary John was definitely a nice resource person to help us out in those matters. So in general terms, yes, we were able to, to say, example, what are your understandings related to Medicare on this issue? What do you think we can do? And Mary John was a great resource person to help, get some information back from, so that we could, maybe we could make some policy changes, or we could at least do something if we felt that, basically to improve, our care of patients and what we were going to do at the hospital.
So you had these discussions with Mary John Hawk over the years, would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, various discussions, certainly. She was a resource person.
Okay, and that's when you were the director of occupational therapy at Mount Hope Medical Center.
Both the director and also clinical manager.
Yeah. While you held those positions, was one of your responsibilities and duties to ensure department compliance with regulatory bodies and the facility policies?
I certainly felt that, that's something that I want to do, yeah.
And that was your responsibility personally as an occupational therapist, as well as ensuring compliance with the individuals you supervised.
I would assume that, ethically that's something that every therapist would want to do, yes.
And would that also ethically carry over to when you became a staff occupational therapist, that you wanted to make sure that you were in compliance with all regulatory bodies?
Yes, that would be correct.
And that was part of your responsibilities as an occupational therapist?
To do what I believe is right, yeah.
And part of your responsibilities as an occupational therapist was to make sure that any billing you did was done appropriately. Is that correct?
Yes, that would be correct.
And one of your responsibilities as an occupational therapist was to make sure that your billing practices were in compliance with any Medicare or Medicaid guidelines.
That would be correct.
But did you ever share exhibit number 35, which is his email, with anyone at Mount Hope Medical Center?
You mean the contents or the actual document?
The contents.
Okay.
Possibly. I mean, I know Molly and I certainly talked about it. Possibly. I mean, I couldn't remember for sure. I mean, I do know that, whenever that meeting was in February, I definitely relayed to, who was there? Ellen was there, that Molly and I, we had collaborated on various issues, making sure that, things were getting to Peggy and different things like that. But specifically, can I say that? I guess I'd have to come short on that. Are we referring to that now?
Before we went off on this, exhibit number 35, we discussed what documents we had in preparation for the case deposition.
All right.
I believe you've identified some policies and procedures
Mm-hmm.
at Mount Hope. What policies and procedures did you identify?
Specifically, they were one regarding, what was it? I think harassment and retaliatory issues. The other one dealt with the granting of staff annual cost of living increases.
And were there any other documents that you reviewed in preparation for today's deposition?
You mean related to the policies and procedures?
Yes.
No, those were the only two, I believe.
How about any other documents that you reviewed in preparation for today's deposition?
Well, certainly, as I mentioned before, the memo.
Okay. Anything else?
There was, I think, some short letters that I wrote to, I think, Ellen or Sue, and their responses, and gosh, what else? Pretty much it.
Did you bring all those documents to today?
Yes.
Can I see those, please?
There was never a subpoena issued for this witness. There was never a document request for this witness, so pursuant to a subpoena, I'm trying to relay professional courtesy if there's something
So I had a break.
Sure.
Sure. Again, I'm going to show you exhibit number 15, which is your January 12, 2004 memorandum.
Okay,
That's Dan Manders and Ellen Howard. Is that correct?
that's correct.
And the date was January 12, 2004. Yes.
Yes, that's correct.
And did you hand deliver that to Ellen Hardy on January 12, 2004?
Yes, I did.
Was this the first time you provided management at Hess Memorial Hospital or Mount Bluff notification of ongoing Medicare fraud or billing?
This is the first time that I presented it to Ellen Hardy and Dan Manders.
Did you ever present it to anyone else before?
Well, my immediate supervisor, Peggy Nelson.
When did you present it to your immediate supervisor, Peggy Nelson?
I wouldn't be able to give you a specific date. All I would be able to know is that, as I mentioned before, in regards to information that we were getting back from the rural Wisconsin co-op, if we felt that there were some changes we probably should do, we would meet with Peggy. I mean, there was several meetings that Molly and I attended when we had concerns.
And when you had those meetings with Peggy Nelson, the purpose of those meetings was to basically improve how your departments operate.
That would be correct.
And that was part of your responsibility as a director and manager of the.
Sure.
And that was the purpose of bringing it to Peggy Nelson's attention.
Yes, correct.
And at that time, did you ever make any threats to Peggy Nelson that you were going to make a claim under the False Claims Act?
No.
And so January 12th, 2004 was the first time you informed any management in writing that it was your intention at least to possibly make claims under the federal False Claims Act. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
I want to go through your memo in a little bit of detail.
Okay.
So,
I'll just object generally that this is really kind of outside the scope of the lawsuit, but go ahead.
first of all, your memorandum was authored by you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Did you have any assistance in drafting the memorandum?
What do you mean by assistance?
Well, did anybody else provide you with any ideas in terms of the content of the memorandum?
Sure, yeah.
And who provided you that assistance?
Well, conversations that I've had with Molly, certainly.
When did you first have conversations with Molly about actually drafting exhibit number 15?
Yes, this one here.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
I don't believe Molly knew exactly.
He's asking you when something happened.
Yeah.
Listen to his question.
Well, I think you're interrupting his answer.
Well, you said when. If that's your question, let's get it. You can ask another one, but unless you just want him to go on, which I don't think is productive.
I think it is sometimes, so.
Well, I'm advising you not to go on and on. I'm advising you to answer his question.
Yeah.
So when, no, if that was a question, let's answer the question. You can ask him a million other questions, but I'm admonishing you to answer his question as phrased.
Well, when? I don't know.
Okay, and then you were indicating you never told Molly that you were actually drafting this memorandum to make a claim under the False Claims Act. Is that correct?
Are you saying, did I specifically tell Molly that I was going to make a claim under the False Claims Act? Is
Yes.
that- no, I did not specifically tell her that.
Did Molly all review exhibit number 15 before you presented to Dan Manders or Ellen Hardy?
I don't know.
At any time, did she ask to also sign the memorandum?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did she go give it to Dan Landers or Helen Harvey on January 12, 2004?
She knew something big was going to happen. That's what I relayed to her.
And when did you relay to her that something big was going to happen?
Oh, probably would have been. Certainly would have been, maybe that.
And his top speed here on December 18th, 2016 was 106 miles per hour.
Probably the
Now Mark Bohnson
end of the week before.
on January 4th, 2017.
Because from what I remember, is the 12th was a Monday, and I having this particular conversation with her on probably midweek.
The week before?
Yes, the best I could.
And when did you tell Molly in this conversation?
Well, as I relayed that, well, I think maybe it's a little crude, but I said something to the effect like, hold on to your shorts, the shit's going to hit the fan.
And did you tell her why the ship was going to hit the fan?
Again, the best I can remember is I just told her, I said, this is all the stuff that we've been, trying to work on, trying to get better, and basically relaying to her that, one way or another.
And what was her response?
I think she was very surprised. We were very scared at that time. And I just told her, I said, we're both out.
Yeah, am I on camera? Huh? Yeah. All right.
You told her go both out.
Got my butt pissed. Wake up.
We've had this, we had discussions prior to
I was gonna
that.
come out earlier, but I got
The
my
hospital
butt
was
kicked yesterday. Some
was
kind of virus or
if you were a good little soldier,
Yeah.
nothing happened to you. If you, tried to
just like got a serious
work within
headache
the
and,
system,
uncontrollable
even if you
vomiting
were,
and nothing coming out.
outspoken, you were considered,
They said it's coming out.
not to be that good little soldier. And we knew that some of the information that we brought to Peggy
This is just a 24 hour.
was not favorable to the department.
No, I wouldn't want this at all.
And we actually thought, I actually thought, I guess I can't speak for Molly, but I actually thought that that's probably, one of the things that may have led to Peggy's demise. And so we were very afraid.
So what led to Peggy's demise? That she's
Well-
outspoken?
Well, she is an outspoken person, but that, we would bring things to Peggy, and I just have to assume that it followed the chain of command up to Ellen or Dan.
Do you know that whether it followed the chain of command or not?
Well, I do know it went up to Ellen because there were follow-up conversations back from Ellen to that Peggy had with me, and she also had. I know Peggy, and Molly had some discussions, but Peggy and I also had discussions on our own.
Well, when you had this conversation with Molly a week prior to January 12, 2004, at that time there was a new director of physical therapy on board. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
That person was Lori Webster Dahl.
That would be correct.
And can you tell me whether Lori Webster Dahl was also a good soldier that was not following up on your allegations?
Was not a good soldier. Do you understand the question?
Not really. I was just trying to get some clarification.
Sure. As of January 2004, with respect to Lori Webster Dahl, was she following up on some of the allegations of improper
Carmen Powell, can you spell that?
Powell,
You may spell Carmen?
Yes.
C-A-R-M-E-N.
Okay. And what are you here for? What,
This is my daughter, the one that.
your daughter?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Just paid in holiday, through them.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Are you do you have a job or are you retired?
No, I'm retired. Yes, retired.
And how old are you?
Oh, you don't want to. I'm 86.
Oh. Could I get your picture? Looking at one of the pictures. Hold on a second. Let's see.
How did you hear about this?
From my in my journalism class, photojournalism class. Okay. Could you say your name? What's your name?
As Pam
Pam?
Dropala.
Oh,
Dropala?
could you spell that?
D-R-A-P-A-L-A.
Okay. And you drew all these?
Yes, I did. I started in July. The first one because it's Frida Kahlo's birthday, July the 7th. And she would have been over 100 years old had she still been alive today. And I put the image on Facebook, and because of that, I got such positive feedback from my fellow artists that I just started to continue doing them. And then when I went to class, my instructor asked me if I wanted to have a show, and I said yes, but what should I do? And he says it should be something new. And I said, well, I started painting. I started drawing a few drawings of Frida.
Okay.
And before I knew it, he gave me the January date. Before I knew it, I had 20 drawings at the end of the year. For 6 months it took me. But what was really wonderful for me was I didn't waste any of my time, so I took the sketchbook with me. That's why they're this size, and I put it in my bag, and then whenever I'd have to wait to get my car oil changed, or my car worked on, or have to go to a doctor's appointment, whatever, or even to, have my hair cut, I would just go and bring my book with me. And I just kept on drawing and drawing and drawing, and now I have a show.
What class were you taking?
I was taking at that time, I'm trying to think. Oh, I was taking a print making class.
Okay.
So I've taken print making, I'm doing sculpture now, I've taken a drawing class, and I've taken several painting classes.
Those were